traveling with children, Michelle must his creativity before helping them.
This thing and this feeling that had, started when I was 14 was actually something real. It wasn't, something I was imagining. It was depression.
Hi, my name is Fabiola, and during these past few months, I really wanted to be able to learn more about mental health. I believe that till this day, mental health is something that we hear a lot on social media, but when it comes to our everyday life and with the people with whom we hang out with, it doesn't come up that often. And when it does come up, when people decide to talk about their own stories or their own experiences with us, sometimes we do not really understand what they're going through and where they're coming from. And in consequence, we don't know how to appropriately help them. At least that's how I felt. And I believe that this whole misinterpretation and miscommunication is one of the main reasons why there is a stigma surrounding mental health. And to quote one of my favorite former YouTubers, if you don't know anyone suffering from mental illness, it is probably because they haven't told you about it. And if they haven't told you about it, it's because of that social stigma attached to mental health. This is specifically why I decided to actively learn about mental illness by volunteering for one organization called Mental Health Island through one of their social events, Smiley Pancakes. And I contacted them and I asked them if I could be able to create content in my own way and record people talking about their experiences. Even though I am not a professional, I don't know how to record, I don't know how to edit, I don't know how to set up a scenery or whatever. I thought it would be a really nice opportunity to share the knowledge that I've learned from these testimonies to people who may feel just the way that I felt, just like the way that I felt, or if they just want to hear about other people's stories. So I came up with 4 videos. The first one is about a young artist in London named Kirsty. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Kirsty Latoya, also known as Kurza. I think the way I knew I had depression, I started to see kind of more things in the media. I started to kind of research more when I kind of got older, and I began to realize that this thing and this feeling that had, started when I was 14 was actually something real. It wasn't something I was imagining. It was depression. And it was only after I started to kind of research and look into the symptoms, look into the causes of depression, that I actually realized that this is a mental disorder, and that's what I was suffering from. I didn't see myself as pretty, as smart, as intelligent, as kind of as likable, anything, even though, all these things weren't true, but that's how I felt, and I couldn't articulate what I was going through, so I was unable to speak to my friends, my family, or anybody else about it. When I kind of first went into the room with my counsellor, I didn't think we would have kind of anything in common whatsoever. He was kind of old white man in a suit, and I walked in and I was thinking, me as a kind of a young black woman, what will you know about the struggles that I've faced, the things that I go through, like with my culture, with the way my culture looks at mental health and things like this. And I really thought that we weren't going to be able to connect. However, I was completely wrong, and over a number of sessions I did build up the trust with him, and there was a rapport that was built, and that's why I was able to speak to him so freely, to open up. And we had sessions over a course of a few months, so it did go on for quite a while. That was actually the day after her funeral I decided to share my first piece, which was a self-portrait of me crying, but I'm holding a mask, and the mask is smiling. And it was such a such an important image to me because it's how I felt throughout those 2 months going through, losing my mother, having to put on this strong facade and this I'm okay routine when I really wasn't. And that's what I wanted to do. So I put it out as just a piece for me, for myself. And the reaction I got back was crazy. The picture went viral around the world. And I started to get so many messages, emails from people telling me that they could relate to the picture, that they understood kind of what I was going through, and that was it was a really nice feeling. This piece is, firstly it's me when I was younger, and the piece is called The World in Her Eyes. And it's just about knowing your worth and knowing that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. And I drew a child, kind of me as a child, to it's almost setting a reminder and, placing in your children this confidence and, the ability that they can achieve anything. So this is definitely one of my favorite pieces. With a lot of my followers on Instagram, they do reach out and they'll tell me, your art has made me feel like I'm not alone, which is amazing because that is the main message behind my art. You are not alone, whatever you're going through. And my art pieces, people relate them to so many different issues in their own lives. And I've had so many people messaging me, telling me about their stories, about the things that they've faced, and it's amazing how they trust me so much already when they haven't met me, and they tell me, sometimes some really dark things and dark periods of their life. And I'm always an ear just to listen and to kind of give advice where I can, because I don't know everything. All I can do is give advice that has helped me or that I think will benefit the person. So I'm always getting messages from people, but it's just nice to know that they're sharing with somebody, because not everybody feels like they can talk to somebody about their mental health issues. So I always welcome my followers to share, to talk, and just to reach out. This is the second one that I did.
That's you?
Yeah, this is a lot of my art, they're based off pictures of me, because I want them to be quite personal. So I always kind of use my features, usually my nose, or I put my nose ring in, my lips, just an element to make it personal. So this one's called Drowning in Emotions. I think where I am now is a better position than I was 2 years ago. And that is because I have kind of used my art as this therapy, which has helped me tremendously. If I didn't have this art, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I'm very grateful for kind of my friends pushing me, my family supporting me as well. And I'm in a much better place in my mental health. Now I give talks around universities in England, and I speak about my journey and how I've turned around such, a horrible thing that happened to me into something positive. So I am in a better place, and I just hope that I can keep on getting better. I'm not free from depression. I don't feel like depression is something you can just say, yep, never gonna suffer from it again. The advice that I would give to somebody going through kind of mental health issues is, firstly, you are not alone. Do not feel like you're the only person that is dealing with what you're dealing with, and don't feel stupid or silly for being depressed about whatever reason or whatever contributing factors it is, because it takes different things to kind of push people over the edge. The second thing would be to speak to somebody, anybody. Speak to a friend, speak to a family member, speak to a stranger, your doctor, just anybody, because it feels better, I promise. When I did, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And the third thing I would say is that there is always rain before a rainbow. So whatever you're going through, you have to push through the rain, and there will be the rainbow at the end. There will be the silver lining. This is not the end. This is not, your life is not going to be like this forever. It's about speaking to somebody, seeking help, and just getting on.